Why didn't we see Kate Middleton leave the London clinic? We saw Prince Charles leave. He posed outside on the steps of the London clinic with Camilla. She visited him every 4 days. He was there. We only saw William visit Kate once. Why? Because she wasn't there. She was not at the London clinic. She wasn't there having surgery, abdominal surgery. She wasn't there at all. She was in a mental health psychiatric hospital because she'd had a mental breakdown, because William had asked her that he wanted a separation, and she panicked and she injured herself and she had a mental breakdown, and hence why she has that scar. Either he struck her with an object or smashed her head on the work surface, or she tried to throw herself down the stairs of some sort. But I just find it weird how we see Prince Charles leave, but with Kate it's a great big secret. We don't see anything. So this is the strange thing. So the Daily Mail did an article and said Kate Middleton has left the London clinic. We don't see her. We don't see her even get into the car. So what we have here is we have the driver, and this is supposed to be the car that Kate's supposedly in. And all we have here is a huge orchid and a basket of flowers in the front seat. Now, on the top one up here, we see the orchid, but then we have this red cherry burgundy blanket. Why is that in that photo, yet it's not in this one? And some said they had to Photoshop it in to make out she was hiding in the front seat, when really she wasn't in the front seat in the first place. So again, the lengths that they have to go to, the palace and the media, to lie and get the public thinking, oh, well, Kate was in the car, like that's her under the blanket. But in the original one, she's not there. It's just the orchid. So they literally had to Photoshop the burgundy blanket in the front to make out she's hiding underneath it, because she doesn't want the cameras to see her. But she wasn't even in the London clinic in the first place. And I said once, well, she was happy to pose on the Lindo Wing steps for all of her 3 pregnancies when she came out with the babies, but she wasn't happy enough to pose on the steps after abdominal surgery. Charles had surgery. He came out after 4 days. He posed. Why should it be a different rule for Kate? Why do we have to always change the rule book for Kate? We always have to do what she says, and they go with it because she's the future queen. They have to do everything that she says and demands. And Natasha Archer was at the top, and she left, and she didn't look over happy. And she had a brown handbag that circled up the top in the middle of the seat, and they said she came and picked up all Kate Middleton's stuff and all her belongings while she was staying in the hospital. And there was no sight of Kate. There was not one photograph. Not even one person could snap a photo of her leaving. Why? Because she wasn't there in the first place. As I've said, she was in a mental health institution, psychiatric hospital. She wasn't having abdominal surgery. She was having treatment for having a mental breakdown. She had a mental breakdown, but the palace had to cover it up because they said, well, why did she have a mental breakdown? What was the cause of it? William's infidelity, cheating, wanted a separation. And she hit rock bottom, and she got to that breaking point, which made her have a breakdown. But I just find it weird how the press has to deliberately Photoshop certain images just to portray that, yes, Kate was in that car leaving, when really this is the real photo and she wasn't in there. It's just an orchid placed in the front of the car seat. Yet this one at the top, they've had to Photoshop a burgundy blanket in the front just to try and convince people, yes, she was in that car, when she wasn't. But it just shows you the lengths that the men in the grey suits go to protect Kate's image and what really happened that day, because she wasn't even there. Someone said that if she was there, William would have visited her more than once, and the children weren't there. Her parents or her sister didn't visit. No one visited, nothing. And someone said that just shows you that she wasn't there in the first place. She had no visitors. Camilla went to see Charles every 4 days of his stay at the London clinic. Yet with Kate, we had nothing. And I just find it sad that they'll go to so many lengths to protect Kate and her image, yet they weren't willing to protect Harry and Meghan. They weren't making any effort to try and make their life in the royal family as easy as possible. Yet with Kate, they do all these stupid stunts of pretending she's in a car leaving the London clinic when really she wasn't in there in the first place. And that personal assistant, she knows what she's doing. She's not in that clinic. But again, because she signed an NDA, she's got to keep stum and just pretend and play the game. But she wasn't at the London clinic and she wasn't in that car.